That's okay.
Everybody go on
Hey.
mute. Everybody
We're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. Shh, 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 shh. Okay. All right. This is the RTX Guardian podcast, episode number 14. I am your host, Chazzy Fizzle. I'm Chazzy Fizzle on the RT site. I'm Chazzy Fizzle138 on Twitter, and this will be my third year as a Guardian and fourth RTX.
I am Sam. This is going to be my second. This is going to be my second RTX. I was formerly an exhibitor guardian. I go by Samich Gal, 2 M's in the Samich on the RT site, and yeah.
I am Marcy. I am Dilger on the site, which is spelled DLGR. This is actually, I always say it wrong every time. This is my third year going to RTX. I went the past 2 years. Last year, I was a PA guardian for Mr. Bernie Burns.
I am Nick. I'm Gotti117 on the site, which is GODY117. This is my first time as a Guardian and my second RTX.
Hello, everybody. My name is Colin, and I was waiting for somebody to interrupt me. Yeah, that happens a lot. I've been a line guardian traditionally for the last couple years. This is going to be, oh god, my 4th RTX, I think? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, line guardian, and maybe one this year, I don't know. We'll see.
Alright, my name is Chris. This will also be my 4th RTX, be my 3rd as a guardian. The past 2 years, I've been a PA. Last year, I was Jordan's PA, and the year before that, I was Ryan's PA. Hopefully being a PA again, but, you know, who knows at this point. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, should be exciting.
Hi, everybody. My name's Andrew. I'm also known, or I go as Doobie2016 on the site. This will be the 5th RTX, I think, I've gone to, but only 4th as a Guardian. I've done a little bit of everything that has to deal with crowds.
Nice. So everyone has had the experience from previous RTXs or know of RTX and what Guardians do. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So what made you guys want to become Guardians in the first place? And we'll start with Chris.
Well, I went in 2012. And I've always just kind of been, and as is evidenced by a cat, as is evidenced by my profession. I'm in IT, so I like to be behind the scenes a lot more than I necessarily would like to be in the middle of everything. So I like to make things run smoothly. So after RTX 2012, I was like, you know, maybe I'll try to be a Guardian. I feel like I'd have more fun that way. I had fun in 2012, but so I applied and got it for 2013, and I originally was going to be a floater, so I was just kind of going to do whatever. But that's where they were like, they stuck me as a PA, and that's probably what keeps me coming back. Like, well, I had a lot of fun as a PA, and definitely want to do it again. So, but yeah, just being the guy behind the scenes and being responsible for helping the show run smoothly, ultimately why I wanted to be a Guardian.
Nice. What about Marcy? Marcy, I know that you've done more bigger things, like supernatural things. So why do you want to do RTX things?
Because last year was so much fun. Oh no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, actually,
What are these supernatural things?
Oh, I've worked many a supernatural convention before, even me.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I thought you meant actually supernatural, not like the show.
Oh no, no.
I thought she meant she worked on the TV show. I was like, wait, what?
No.
I was thinking that you were like a witch or something, actually.
No.
Okay.
No, I actually have quite a bit of convention experience. I've gone to anime conventions since I was 16 years old, and I've helped out a couple of anime conventions there, just helping it run, because once you experience a couple, you've kind of seen what you're gonna see. So now I wanted to start doing that, and then I started working supernatural conventions, and it was more the fact that it was a brand new convention. MegaCon kind of owns the supernatural conventions nowadays, so this was another con that wanted to try to compete with it, and they just pulled me out of the area because they saw my ID I was checking in with was my government badge, and I have not an active but a current TSSCI clearance and all this stuff, and they're like, wow, so you're the serious deal, do you want to babysit Jared and Jensen for a bit? I'm like, okay. So I did that for a couple of years until the convention just lost funding. They don't have it anymore. And then, yeah, with RTX, I went in 2013 just to be, an attendee. I waited in that 7-hour line on Saturday to
I'm
meet all
so
the
sorry.
achievement hunters. That was fun. But no, after that, I just, had it with, the actual convention experience because I was like, okay, I experienced it. Now I actually want to help out because I love the community first and foremost. And I met and chatted with a ton of the Guardians while I was waiting in that 7-hour line. And Tim Leftwich was one of the guys that was chatting with me because he was, I guess, with Jack a lot. And yeah, he was just like, yeah, this is great. You should totally try it next time. So I applied and I told Mary about all of my experience. And yeah, I was originally supposed to be Monty's PA, but when Katie got in with the team lead, she was like, I'm going to rearrange it personality-wise. And they're like, you're going to be with Bernie. I'm like, all right, let's do this. But yeah, no, I like helping out the fellow community members. I love helping out the employees. Literally, when I work a convention, I just want to be there to support. And I dedicated all of last year making sure Bernie got to do what he wanted to do. And I would really love to be a PA Guardian again to make sure that the next employee I'm PA Guardian, whatever, gets that exact same experience. So no, it's very rewarding in the long run too. So I like it.
Nice. What about you, Nick?
I went last year and it was really fun, but I guess I sort of got the experience and kind of like what Marcy said, I wanted to try more, and I felt like I wasn't contributing a lot, so I decided I thought it would be funner because I like being busy and I like working, and I thought it would help me meet a lot of people in the community because when I went to RTX last year, I didn't really know anyone. That's pretty much the reason why I decided to apply. Here I am.
There's one of the fun things about the RT community, though, partly because of how many people and how diverse it can get. I remember the first time I went down for RTX, I was just wandering down on 6th Street, and I ran into a guy from the Netherlands, a guy from Idaho, a guy from Britain, and like 3 other people, and it just, do you guys want to go get lunch? Okay. And that's just what happened, and there's a lot of really good people in the fandom, so it's cool. Run it.
I've met so many people, like, I can't even imagine my life now without, like, the people, like, I either met or stayed with or, like, made this, like, podcast together. Like, it's just unfathomable. I can't even imagine. I think I'd probably really be boring, like, super, super boring.
Yeah. Chazzy, you were my first in real life friend that I met last year. Like, seriously, like, from the community. Because when I was there in 2013, I didn't know anybody until after the fact. I'm like, oh, so you were that person. Sorry that we didn't meet each other in person to person. But then when I saw you, I recognized you. And I was like, I'm going to stick close to her because I know her, kind of.
Part of me wishes that you just stopped there and it just been, you were my first real friend.
It's a bit rough.
Oof.
No, it would have been really funny. It would
It'd be really funny. It would be like, oh.
It would have been funny in a really painful kind of way.
Oh my god. Well, speaking of people that like I first like met or stayed with, I stayed with Doobie last year. So Doobie, you've been in the Guardian forever since like almost like the dawn, like the very first one, almost the very first one. What made you second one? Close enough. Why did you want to be a Guardian?
I actually went to the first one, and I remember we're in this hotel lobby, and we're meeting like all the cast members and everything, and Barbara walks past, and all these people get out of line to go meet her and get signatures on like signed merchandise. I'm like, who is this person? And I like no idea. I had no interaction with the community before that, and just that whole like this community's pretty awesome type of moment is like, I want to meet everybody now. So that's pretty much it.
Pretty simple, but gets to the point. And what about you, Chuck?
Actually, it's pretty much the same. I went to an RTX, and I realized better help run it than just attend. And part of it enjoy. But actually, Doobie and I have more or less. main panel room for the past 2 years, and hopefully we can do that again because it's really fun.
Yeah.
There's something very nice about the main panel room, especially if you're one of the front line or the front section panel guardians, or you're a line guardians, that you get to meet pretty much everyone who comes to see something, because that's the room where they do Achievement Hunter, where they'll do the RVB, where they do Ruby, where they do everything. So everyone and their dog will probably try to visit the main panel room at some point. So you get to meet a lot of people, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Sam?
So I've been staffing conventions like as a booth person since I was 14.
Oh, wow.
I kind of just walked up to a person. If you guys have been to any like big cons, you know the booth Style and Online. They're the big tower of t-shirts people. I stumbled up to them and was like, hey, do you guys need someone for the next day of the convention? They're like, yeah, we do. So I started staffing them at 14, and I feel the same way at conventions that I do theater. I hate like watching something. I like being involved. I like helping to create and grow. So, you know, participating in RTX was kind of like, I really love Achievement Hunter and like anime Star Eyes, and I really love Achievement Hunter and I want to help make something successful, herpeter, and then from there I just kind of applied and hoped for the best, and here we are.
Nice. That's kind of like pretty much like what I did. But like I actually, when I attended in 2012, and I went by myself because I was like, I think I was like 18, and I was like, all right, I really want to go to this, and my friend like bailed on me, so I just went by myself, and I didn't know what to expect, and I just got back into like the whole community and stuff like that. So that was like really fun. I like wasn't able to make friends, but I was able to just experience it. But the first time when like they were just opening the big like room, what is it? The like just exhibit room, I guess?
Exhibitor hall.
Yeah, exhibitor hall. And we were waiting in the line for it to be open the first day, and I saw this huge pink mohawk, and I saw a pink mohawk, and I saw this really huge dude, and this dude looked really important though, and you know. After time, I realized that it was Dewey with the pink mohawk and this really huge dude, Chris. So they were like in the front, and they were like managing like lines like crazy. Like they were so good, and people who were like cosplaying would be coming down. They would make sure they have enough room. Like it was like the coolest thing ever because it was just so organized and on point. I was just so impressed that like I had such a great time, and that these people could make my first time to be a great time. That like I want to do it next year as more than just going to see like the people that I admire and the people that I like, but I want to make sure that like the person who goes the first time like I did has a great time. Right. And I did that, and I'm so glad I was able to get in the following year, because like I think the last year when I did it for like the second time, there was this dude who literally came by himself. We met him up at Champs, and he was just getting like lunch by himself. And they were like, yeah, I don't remember his name, and I can never find him through the community, even though I posted pictures about him because I was like, I wonder like if he had a good time. But he went by himself, and his buddies like didn't come with him, and we're like, well, just come eat lunch with us, and we just had a great time together. And it looked like he was having a good time, so I'm glad I could make that impression and make that something. He could come back home and be like, I had such a great time, I want to do it again, or hopefully come as a guardian, but I've never seen that dude again. But I want to find him.
Chazzy, give me a picture of the dude. I'll make you like a little have you seen me milk carton photo, and then you can post that. We'll make a meme out of it on the forum. Maybe you'll find him.
Not only that, but we could like post it up around like RTX or like the outside of it and be like you.
Andrew remembers that guy. Like, he was this random dude, and I have a Polaroid.
Have you seen this RT fan? Please contact Chazzy Fizzle.
This community member, where hath he gone?
And like he's a pretty memorable dude, because this dude didn't look like he was like he didn't look like something out of like the fandom, like the nerd fandom. He looked like a linebacker or like something through sports, because this dude was like big. But hopefully we can find that dude again.
Fingers crossed.
But that's generally a really good rule for RTX, is that if you don't have somebody to hang out with, if you're bored or something, just literally walk up to somebody in a have you or ask me about my zombie plan, or People like Grape's t-shirt, and literally just go, hey, do you like RT? I like RT too. Let's talk. And that's pretty much all you have to do.
Yeah, actually, for my 18th birthday party, we decided to go to the most childish place ever. And my cousin was there, and she didn't know anyone. And the poor girl was, like, standing there awkwardly. And I was like, my friend also likes Rooster Teeth. Please just talk. And they became, like, best friends.
Yeah.
Aww.
So that's it. That's RT for you. Like, everybody just becomes friends because of it.
Yeah, every time I wear my Achievement City shirt, like I used to work at Whole Foods and I used to work at the registers, and I would wear like Achievement City, or I'd wear like, you know, the Sri Racha Rooster Teeth logo, whatever, and just like every gamer dude would just come up and be like, oh, you like Rooster Teeth? And I'm like, man, I want to talk to you, but I gotta ring up your groceries, but yes. So it's
Getting
funny to
grapes
see.
today, huh?
Yeah, seriously. It's funny to see how many people outside of the forums and Twitter and stuff that you actually see just walking the streets that actually know who the fuck Rooster Teeth is. It's really cool.
Unless you live in Omaha, Nebraska, then you don't see any of that shit ever.
If you live in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah,
Does anybody live in Omaha, Nebraska?
Technically,
my aunt actually lives in Omaha, Nebraska.
there's like 400,000 people who live here.
Whoa.
But there's one RT fan at work. He just started a couple months ago, so he's the only one who understands why I take a week and a half almost off of work every summer.
That's actually a fun conversation because my aunt keeps trying to convince people to come out and like visit the cousins and stuff. It's like, you should come out to Nebraska. Why?
Omaha's not bad.
Well, there's two people there.
I can't
There's
vouch
two
for
people
Western
there that like
Nebraska.
Rooster Teeth.
But,
That's it.
yeah, there's two. Me and one other person. Actually, there's another guy who actually lives in the city I'm living in right now, Bellevue, who started the Midwest RTX meetup group. So apparently there's three.
Here's the example of how far you can go. I currently live in Japan because I'm teaching English over here.
Okay.
And I came to a mixer for English teachers out here, and I was talking to somebody, and somebody made a Tucker joke.
Nice.
And the five of us looked over. And it's like, who's that, Tucker? And the guy goes, yeah. And we realized that there were about 5 people who all watched Rooster Teeth and all loved it, and were all willing to just sit back and chat about Rooster Teeth.
That's so cute.
You're the guy who teaches English with Ruby, right?
What's it?
Is it Colin who shows Ruby his class or whatever?
No, sorry, I can't hear you.
He's asking if you show Ruby in your class. Are you the one who...
Yeah, actually, I have. There's nothing quite like having a bunch of students yell "Sugoi" after watching Ruby punch or kick a couple of people in the face.
That's so
Although
cute.
apparently their favorite is Yang. Something about punching a guy with fire. Apparently.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
What's not to
How you
love?
do?
Exactly. All right, so there's some questions, comments in the QA real quick, so I'm gonna go through them really quick. Yeah, it's actually like the left side. It's Q&A, like little blue button.
I've done this before and I always forget.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
Jack DP, who is also a host, says favorite Minecraft server. Hint, hint. Nudge, nudge.
Wait. One thing. Red, fuck you. Okay, now you can go.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Okay. So right now there's a RTX 2015 Guardian Minecraft server for the PC that people can join. It's on a forum through StarWiz, and I think him and Bearded Gaming are doing the whitelist. So go check out that forum. It's in the group. Like, you have to be a Guardian this year to actually see the thing. And then you just post your RT username, and then you'll be added, and you'll be good to go. And there's like 10 people who are playing on it right now, which is crazy, which is awesome.
They should be here watching.
Yes. Well, there's 8 people here, so 2 people are not.
I'm here and playing at the same time. But no, Mary's on it, so you can suck up to her in advance of actually showing up.
Whoa.
And she like streams it a bunch. She goes on like late at night. Well, she's like Pacific time, so she's like 2 hours behind even me. So she's like 3 hours behind for Eastern time. So she's always there at like 2 o'clock in the morning streaming.
So, dumb non-PC gamer question. Is Minecraft for Mac or?
Yes, I have it for Mac.
Yeah.
I'm a Mac user who like doesn't know what right click is for Mac.
Yeah, I am too. So okay, good to know.
Yeah, it works for Mac. It's kind of weird. You have to like personalize the shortcuts for it because it gets kind of tricky when you have a touch for like a Mac laptop, unless you're using a Mac desktop and you have like a
No,
mouse.
I'm in my bed currently using a laptop.
Yeah, so it's gonna be kind of tricky using your left hand for both like for build and destroy and like looking at the camera. You'll figure it out though. Let's see.
Or you could buy a real computer. Either way.
Chuck. Or you can buy real Tylenol that's not in Japan called Eve.
It's not my fault. They don't have real Tylenol, okay? And to be fair, Eve did the job. Eve was very nice. She didn't make me get an apple. She didn't have me bitten by a snake. Yeah, yeah.
I bet
You know,
Eve
if
was
you're ever
like
in Japan, look up
3
Eve.
times
Damn, is Eve expensive. She is one.
She's one hell of a drug.
It could go either way.
To put it that way, yeah.
Oh my god. So Tom said, I walked into the store Franco works at here in New York wearing my RTX shirt. He started shouting at his coworkers saying that this is the place he works at. So I guess if you just walk in with an RTX shirt, people will freak out. I've had people freak out about like my pins that I had when I worked for GameStop. I would have like my horse puncher pins, and they would be like, "Oh my god, oh my god," and I was like, "Oh my god." Let's talk about shit.
I try to avoid wearing at least my 2014 RTX shirt around because it says I'm here to help and it's blue. So there's a lot of stores that are their colors are blue and you don't want to be mistaken for an employee there. So I don't wear it in public much.
Yeah, don't wear that.
Oddly enough, I don't run into that problem.
Oh my god. Bree says, I'm watching. Thank you, Bree. You're awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. There's 9 viewers now. Woo! Tom says, just throwing it out there, the Guardian, TTT, and Prop Hunt server will be up within the hour. Alright, so within that same Minecraft server, what is it? What's TTT?
Yeah, I don't know.
Global Terrorist Town.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then Prop Hunt server will be up too.
It's a really
Are
cool.
those for Mac?
I don't know.
Buy a PC.
Google
Boot
search?
camp? You could probably boot camp it.
I think, maybe? I don't know. I don't.
Well,
the only two
boot camp
games I have
requires
is
a Windows
Minecraft.
license though, so.
Oh, so probably not. Only
Well, I
thing-
mean, you can still buy Windows. It's just like $100, so it's an extra investment to make.
I mean, you know, as a broke college student, I can totally do that.
Who doesn't have
Actually,
$100 just to
To
throw
be
around?
fair, some
Right?
universities, but a number of universities have like a specific technology. What they'll do is some universities will give out like Windows licenses for free.
It's true. That's how I got my
Sadly-
Windows 7 Pro license.
Sadly, I go to a community college, so not very
Oh,
lucky. Yeah.
yeah.
You might
no.
still check, 'cause that's actually where I got mine.
It
so.
still might, yeah.
It really depends on what they subscribe to, as far as
Yeah.
Microsoft stuff.
Once Minecraft did the horse update, my laptop will not play Minecraft anymore, so I'm getting a new desktop next week so I can go back on Minecraft because I miss it too much.
I can't play
play the
diddly
funny-
squiddly. I
Yeah,
can't
I
play diddly squiddly. My laptop's been lagging like crazy, hence why it crashed.
You need to get it
earlier.
cleaned.
There's also a slight singularity in like apparently somebody spawned a black hole in the south on that server. So if you go near
That
it,
was
there's
Bearded. That was Beardy. He did that.
There's this time dilation field where like everything slows to a crawl, and you just like start trying to move forward, and then you pop out and everyone's aged 20 years. It's some weird shit. It's a cool mod, but
Oh, shit.
That was his fault. He put a bunch of like XP balls out there, and there's like 100 million like XP out there, and so it just crashes whenever you try to get near it because it has to render the blocks and it's trying to render all of that at one time.
fair. He,
So it
he
just-
has been forgiven. He paid me he paid me reparations. So we're
Hopefully Star Wars can. I think he's on there right now. Hopefully he can fix it because he's like the creator.
he's complaining on Minecraft right now.
Yeah, 'cause that's. I want to play. I want to go down there because Naito has this huge like field down there, and he has like rare stuff that I want. Okay, so let's see. So,
Sorry, Mary just died.
Rip Mary.
Yeah.
Almost said security clearance for the win. Woo!
Yay. It wasn't that hard to get for me. I don't drink, smoke, do drugs, nothing like that. So I kind of flew with flying colors from like secret to top secret to TSSCI. They're like, you need it? Here you go. I'm like, all right. Yay.
I'm
Jack
on so
said-
many lists by now, I would never get top secret clearance.
I feel like I should. Like, how do you apply to something like that? Because like when my parents were in the military, so I'd
It's
fly
expensive.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Like,
unless
I
you
assume
have
you have
unless you have like a government contract or a federal agency willing to pay for it for you, it's like over $2,000 at minimum, at least, I would assume. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Aw,
Because he was eligible for the Air Force before he retired, so he had it. Still does.
damn it. I just want to skip it.
You just want to have something on there saying like you can tell me things.
Yeah, no, mine I'm letting expire though. I don't ever want to work for the government again. It was such misery. You can never like please people that just have these unreachable, unattainable goals. Like the guy I was working for thought we were like in the Iron Man movie where he could just snap his fingers and like a Jarvis would appear in front of his face because I did video teleconferencing. And I was like, no, sir, that doesn't actually exist. And then he would like suspend me for 3 days. I'm like, really? Okay, you're psychotic. So yeah, I'm out of that. I'm not doing that ever again.
Also, where you live is expensive.
What you're supposed to follow that up with is that doesn't exist, but if you're willing to pay me more, I can create it for you.
There you go. Yeah, no, living in DC, that's literally, like, if you don't go to retail, you got to get a government job. So that's why I'm certainly not going to stay here permanently. I'm back at the parents' house for the moment, but it's only temporary. Only temporary.
What they all say.
Hey, no, I'm fighting, man. I'm 30 years old. Fuck that. I'm not staying here.
That's just crazy. There's so many people in a community that's like 30 or like whatever older, and they don't look it at all. Like you don't look 30.
You're so sweet.
I thought you were like maybe 23 when I met you. I was like, this person's so cool.
I love you. Thank you.
30s isn't that much for most people.
No, that's true. No, man, it's our generation. We can't afford crap, so.
Yeah.
Like, if the parents are willing to house me for a couple of months, okay.
I just assume everybody's my age unless I've proven otherwise, so it's worked out for and against me in several cases. So
yeah, I think I'm older than my age, which is great because I can get into like bars and clubs no problem. But like when I was like 18 to like 20, and like there was like a time where I'm like I want to go drinking with my friends and RTX, and like some places would have to card me and then some places wouldn't because I look old enough. But like I just turned 21 last October, and like before then I would try to like sneak on through. But sometimes it didn't.
How old is everyone here?
I'm 21.
18.
23.
23.
Yeah.
I just turned 24 in January, so am I the oldest one here right now, Marcy?
No, I'm
30.
Sorry, Marcy, the 25-year-old.
Yes, Chris is the oldest one here.
Yeah,
Huff.
I'll take it.
Yeah, Barbara and I share the same birthday, except I'm 5 years her senior.
That's just crazy. That's just crazy. Oh my god. But I guess it's just part of, whatever you like within, Rooster Teeth or Achievement Hunter. Doesn't matter what age, it's just we're all fans here.
True story.
Basically. Besides the fact that we as in me can't drink.
Oh my god.
It's really not all that's cracked up to be, trust me.
Tom said, I ran into Marcy while I was leaving Austin in the airport after the last RTX. I had no idea she was 30. See, it's not just me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I actually remember him because, like, I had told him that I was Bernie's PA, and he was like, what? And we were just, like, chatting a bit. Yeah, we were waiting at the gate together, and I told him what my ID was, and, like, literally, like, not even 3 seconds after that, I saw, like, a little friend request, and I was like, okay, add. So, yeah, I ran into a lot of fans just waiting there. And they're like, wow, you look exhausted. I'm like, yeah, I was Bernie's PA. And they're like, oh.
So how many times did he escape from you?
He actually wasn't allowed to. I made sure of that. He would say, oh, Marcy, you can go, it's fine. And I was like, nope. That's
As an exhibitor guardian, let me tell you how much I appreciate you so much. Like, you don't understand. When he came to the floor, it was so crowded, but he said he didn't want any of us near him, so we were just like, please, for the love of God, just tell me his PA does the job amazingly.
It was kind of a weird situation because, like, I get it, and I mean, it's the same thing with, like, the experience I have. I mean, I said earlier that I work for Supernatural conventions with Jared and Jensen, and also, like, all the people in between, that were in the show from season 1 through season 2, but also Doctor Who conventions, Torchwood conventions when I was in England before, etc. And I know that these people want to meet their fans, and a lot of them aren't that scared of their fans that they want to be on the floor as long as possible. And that was a message I was trying to relay to the security team, because I needed them purely for the fact he had his kids on the floor every time he was on the exhibitor floor.
Oh.
He had Teddy and JD on the floor, too. My main concern was making sure they didn't get trampled, because fans are like, Bernie, autograph, selfie, go. And they don't see the little children, because they're short. Jordan was short. So, like, I think they kind of have their mom's height there. And it's like no one saw them. And I was, like, terrified that they were going to get run over. So I did ask Alex, who's the team lead of security last year, to give me a couple guardians to make sure they didn't get trampled. Unfortunately, I think a couple of them were given a message that, you know, like a lot of the employees, you got to keep the fans a little space and make sure there's an exit path or whatever, because these, you know, employees want to go. Bernie's not that kind of employee, though. He wants to stay. And there was a little, and he's mentioned it a couple of times on the podcast where he was like, you know, I want to, you know, not have everybody just surround me and, like, tell me what to do. Like, I've been to the conventions for 12 years, you know, I know what I'm doing. Absolutely, he does. It was just there was a little bit of a miscommunication, but by Sunday we had it down where he just literally did stand for 3.5 hours, and I helped serpentine a line to make sure that everybody got in.
I remember that because I was an exhibitor guardian, and we were all like, this is going to kill us, because we're all like, panicking to make sure that there's like exit routes and everything's like not a fire hazard. It was the whole thing.
Yeah, no,
Sunday was fun day.
That was actually a really great day, because a lot of people were really like working to make sure that not only Bertie was taken care of with the fans, trying to make sure that, you know, people got the autographs and the selfie and stuff, but a lot of exhibitors ended up giving some freebies to both JD and Teddy to make sure that they were entertained while they waited for their mom to come pick them up.
Right.
So that was really cool. And see, I don't want to say worst day, because I thought that we took care of it fine, but it was just the one day that my heart kind of panicked a bit, was Friday with the fire drill, because we had gotten that briefing in the morning. This is what you do if the fire alarms go off. And when I heard the fire alarms,
we got that briefing. Oh God, I'm never gonna be over that. Did you see that somebody made a Twitter account for it right after it happened?
Are you serious?
Oh my gosh! So all of the exhibitor guardians, we were all we were all talking to each other via I forget what the app is called. You know what I'm talking? Yeah, GroupMe. We were all talking via GroupMe, and we were all like communicating, and we all gathered outside. Our entire team got out there in about 10 minutes. But so we were all talking, and then we were all sitting together, and it wasn't me. Somebody else happened to check Twitter, and they were like, somebody made a fire alarm Twitter, and we were like, no. So we all ran to Twitter on our phones, and it was like, yeah, the RT fire alarm Twitter. Like, you can go on Twitter, and it's probably still there. I was in tears.
All right. So let's bring it back. Let's bring it back with like some questions here. What does everybody think for what's going to happen for like next year? Any expectations or anything like nothing? I know there's nothing official yet. Or anything that we can't really say.
No.
Any expectations for next year? And we'll start with Nick this time.
I expect to die.
Your muscles will just a little bit.
I heard that there were going to be 25,000 attendees this year. Is that true?
That sounds probably. They had 30 over the 3 days last year.
Yeah, they're trying for 45,000.
I think it was in Gus's post or something, but they're spending again, so that's I can't imagine, but I think it's going to be really hard to go between the 3 buildings, because there's 3 buildings.
No, that might actually not be the worst thing. That might actually be a good thing. The issue is, Doobie and I are probably familiar with this pretty damn well, but it's capacity and finding both places for the lines to sit and to make sure that we get enough people in there, because especially with that main panel room, there is a limited number of seats, and there will always be a limited number of seats. Now, the more room we can get, the better, but like.
That also means more lines and
And to be fair, this always happens, and it's always on the first day getting everything done. But that first Ruby panel, that originally Ruby panel, was a nightmare. because the
Oh yeah, I
line
was in that line.
Yeah, that line was unimaginably long. It was so difficult to get everybody in there because everybody and their dog wanted to see this new show called Ruby. And that line was snaking down the escalators around the building, everything else. By that second day, they figured out a way to get everybody in a line to make it. When we have a better system, we still have, like now last year we had a set aside waiting room, and having the waiting room meant that there were a little bit less seats in the main room, but it was worth having because we needed that space for the line. There's always going to be traffic jam problems, and I think maybe by having, depending on how big those rooms are in those, might take some of the pressure off us.
Yeah.
It depends on how big. What I would really love is if somehow they got a theater, like an actual honest-to-God theater, like the way that PAX does with I think Benaroya Hall in Seattle, where for some of their really big presentations they have a fucking theater that they rent out. That would be nice. Insane, but it would be nice.
Yeah, like that was something I was actually going to mention, is that when I heard that they were going to expand, that reminds me of my hometown anime convention, Otakon, that very slowly.
I love Oda. I might actually
Yeah.
be going there.
I've been going there since 2000, and they literally only originally started in about 3/4 of the convention center, and then just kind of like not started, but at least when I started going, and then they expanded to the full thing. Now it's at the point where they spread out to the Hilton across the street because the Skywalk connects to it, and the Sheraton on the opposite side, and they have the First Mariner Arena, which they have all the concerts, and they have the Masquerade at. So that just sounds like, to me, like if they're expanding, they might be doing stuff like that, where like maybe, certain panels will be in one place, maybe like Let's Play gaming live stuff will be at another place, and then the main thing will be what have you. So
And then I could
that would be
probably
interesting.
do overflow as well in
Right.
some of the other rooms, like live stream it there.
That's the other thing, is that a lot of people, this doesn't apparently get communicated well enough to people coming in, but quite frequently the main panel, or at least some of the main panel, will be streamed downstairs to the area where people get signed in. And not everybody seems to know that. And so a lot of people appear surprised when we tell them, like, if we had to shut down if we were at capacity and we had to shut everything down, periodically we would tell them that you can go down, you can probably watch it down there, and they wouldn't have known that was going on. So, and it's not always, and some things don't get streamed, but,
It's usually the Let's Play live stuff in the
Those-
center.
Yeah. I just hope there's nothing like chaotic where like in the middle of like the exhibit hall for like their achievement hunter like lounge or whatever, because I know like it's overflowed and it crisscrosses with other things and causes like it just causes a mess. Yeah, hopefully there's a more like, I know every year is like more like a trial and error for stuff, and then it makes it the next year where it works. But there's some things that it's just trial and error still, and it keeps going and going to the next year. But hopefully, especially upstairs too, where like the corner, which is like room 17 I think, and room like 18, that corner, that it gets so long for some rooms that it crisscrosses into like other rooms lines.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's some kind of like some adjustments for that too. But
those lines are, I mean, Doobie knows this really well, but those lines are constantly being reformed, because as soon as one line goes, a lot of people will like put overflow into the space that one line is now empty, and you just have to figure out where everything goes. And
That's one thing, man.
It's constant human Jenga.
Yeah, I really just like, I'm not envious of any Line Guardian this year, because if they are spreading out, Line Guardians are going to be responsible for the lines outside of those other buildings too. Like, especially if there's like, the Hilton, that's where that little what is it, that tram thing, that little shuttle train thing that goes through. You can't stand in the middle of that. They have one of those in Baltimore, and they will run you over. If like the Otakon cosplay people walk across that when that train's coming, they'll run you over. They don't care. And then if they go 2 blocks down, that's just more people that they'll have to like manage not to go over streets or block any entrances or exits to parking spaces, and that'll be fun. But hopefully that won't be the case. Hopefully the lines can stay inside. That'd be great.
I hope so.
Doobie, what do you think about like for this year? What do you think it's gonna be like? Worse, better, a little bit of both.
I think it's going to be amazing. I think every RTX is always amazing.
They're just amazing.
But,
Five.
but I think it's going to be a lot more hectic, which I'm okay with. I like that. I also think there's going to be a lot more people outside after the convention this year. Last year, I think 34 people
Really, a
started.
lot more than last year when you had like just everybody floating around outside the building for like 30 minutes.
30 minutes, nothing. They were out there for 3 hours.
After the
No, not after the fire, on Sunday night.
Talking about
The
cheer on the Guardians.
cheerleaders. The cheerleaders.
Yeah, the cheer on the
Lovely
Guardians.
cheerleaders.
They made me cry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know people are already getting ready for that, so...
Oh no.
Oh gosh.
Do
Already?
they actually plan it in advance?
They're
Not
all-
sure they did.
No. Like, from what I understand, they applied to be Guardians, but they didn't get selected, so they want to cheer on the Guardians again. Which, hey, cool, because there are a lot of underappreciated Guardians out there.
Yeah.
But,
They
I
should
know
use
some
that-
Guardians also don't like that.
Well, yeah,
I
some
mean,
don't, but hopefully they don't use it as a way for like for their next application. Like, oh, I was part of the cheer on the Guardians, you totally should pick me. Like that
Yeah.
shouldn't be the case. Like, hopefully they don't use that for like a benefit.
As far as I know, they
Leverage, yeah.
didn't, but who knows. But
what was the
It
one
made me uncomfortable.
that?
that's... I'm actually going to try to start a forum thread on that, and hopefully we get something set up to it. If you are uncomfortable with that, we can scooch out a second door, have them move away for a bit or
Right.
something.
That's definitely because they grouped it like pretty much one door, like which was where
Right.
we were cleaning up and stuff like that. And I bet you there's like on the opposite like end of the hall where you can just leave. But I know some people are just literally not comfortable with that, and some people are like, "Oh my god, thank you."
I mean,
Yeah.
it was more the fact that there were people just standing out there cheering me on that it was like, why are you here? The celebrities aren't coming out this way. Go. It was unexpected. This year I don't think
now
I
I
give
have
a
to do
shit.
more work as opposed to.
Right. This year
Actually-
I don't give a shit. Last year it was just like, what have I done?
The other thing that they did was, I think during the sign-in, you had a bunch of people who were just standing in front of the line-in area, doing like the GTA 5 actions and doing the train that doesn't stop thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That,
And that was just like, hey, this way, guys. And you're like, you know what? If you want to tell people that this is the way, there's a Guardian sitting right there. It's fine. It's you're not. I mean, they're not really causing a problem. It's
Yeah.
not that big a deal.
the only problem was when they started doing it on the convention floor and formed a giant train line that like went all the way like lengthwise, and it was like at least 30 people on it just walking around the exhibitor hall floor. That was not fun to deal with. It was really not fun. We all had to we actually were texting each other. We were like, "There's a fuck train line. Like, we need to stop it. How do we stop? How do we stop the fuck train?
Well, no, you don't stop the fuck train. You
can't
move
stop
the
it.
fuck train.
We need to give it breaks."
No, it's not breaks. You get somebody else on the front and you guide them out of the hall.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
it was a hole. And
move
then they
them
tried
around.
to start it up again like the next day. And you're like, "No, don't."
You find a locomotive and you just change the tracks so that they go outside and around the building.
They won't
Yeah,
know.
hopefully they don't do it across the street because this is going to cause so much traffic. It's just going to be like, no.
Have fun, Line Guardians.
I know, right? Good luck.
Find Guardians managing the fuck train. Great, yeah, one more thing for us to do.
Have fun.
Chastity, I see one of the next questions is about a ball pit. I already know that Mary wants to. She said that if RTX won't give her one, she'll spend the money for a ball pit. She said that in one of her Twitch live streams a while ago.
A Guardian ball pit would be so much fun.
It was either a ball pit or a bouncy house. I forget
No.
which one she said. She was like, no
Guardian
one
bouncy
take those
house.
away.
Oh my god.
I'm just waiting for that one asshole who decides to do the thing like, hey, I'm really made a joke about this on the podcast. I'm gonna take a dome in the ball pit.
No, don't.
joke about that.
Ew, disgusting.
No, there's always some asshole. That's the thing. Is that there's always one guy who ruins it for everybody else.
It would be
Oh.
the Guardian one. There should be some trust there. If
Oh,
it's the Guardian
Guardian
room
ball pit,
for us.
we're safe. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mary's not buying this for the attendees.
No.
Oh,
The attendees. Like, not really.
I'm not promising that Mary will buy anything, by the way. It was just a joke she said on the live stream. Just gotta clarify that.
Oh my god.
So wait, you mean we can't hold her to it?
No.
Let's not, just in case.
Oh my god.
Don't worry about.
Crazy Boy 87, who's also known as like the Hat Guardian, he always has like his big cowboy hat thing going on. He said nothing okay about the train. I'd be fine leading them into traffic.
Oh no!
Don't
no.
do that.
No.
Don't do that to the
That's a joke.
fans.
That's a joke.
Traffic.
No.
I'm
Then
pretty
Leave
sure
them around the
that
building because eventually they'll get tired and then they will stop doing it.
God, your
think it-
arms get so tired doing that for like 5 minutes. It's just
the
like,
train would be fine. It's the traffic that would be in danger, I think.
The people in traffic would be more in danger.
did we mention the exhibitor like purchase list thing? I posted it on the Guardian bar, but can we talk about that?
Sure.
I
I
don't
have
know.
no idea what it's about because I'm
I,
not
did,
part of the
I didn't
bar.
see it. I didn't. Well, I
Um,
saw the post, but I couldn't find it.
So basically, it shows like what vendors can purchase and whatnot, or exhibitors, I guess. And it mentions something about an artist alley, which means we might get an artist alley this year, which would be cool. That might be in one of the hotels or whatever. They also talked about having like a VIP lounge and like a VIP people who bought the VIP ticket, as well as a few other things too.
Are we allowed to talk about that?
I think it's open to the public.
Speculation.
It is on the RT site. It's public and open.
Okay.
So anybody could access it. It's officially on the website.
Okay, then yeah. I just, my immediate reaction is
Yeah. No.
Can I tell you about the VIP lounge from last year? That was the worst idea of ever, because I was Ryan Haywood's PA, and that was the worst idea someone's ever come up with, to sell VIP tickets and have VIP share a room with staff. Because the VIP, there was like these two dudes who would always come in like periodically at a certain, like every 30 minutes they would leave, they come back if nobody they wanted was like interesting enough to be in the VIP room. But like that was such a bad idea.
Yeah,
And then when all the staff were in there or exhibitors were in there, like it just created such a huge, like not enough space for all those kind of people like in one place. And then all the PAs who didn't have seats inside would just sit outside on the concrete, because we'd just be waiting for our PAs to, done relaxing, whatever. Such a bad idea.
part of the thing about having a VIP ticket is that you do expect to have some sort of increased access. So the question is just like, where does that line get drawn? Is this special area, is it VIP? Is it staff and exhibitor only? If that's the case, because there are multiple levels of VIP. There are VIP badges you can buy. They're the ones they give out to like friends and family members. So it's just like,
So I think that's what they're separating. I think they're separating people who bought them versus people who are VIP by family or by being a guest.
I think they should have staff instead of VIP for like family members, because there was a dude who kept lingering around the VIP who kept saying that he was Miles' cousin, and like nobody could ever confirm this, and so I feel like it was somebody who was just saying that.
I think he actually was. I saw him and Miles together later on in the
Okay.
day.
It was
So
just
I think
like,
he was. It was just
no.
sketchy.
Because like everybody like who was a VIP had VIP badges, and even family member had VIP badges and not staff.
Tina had a VIP badge. Holly, Jordan's girlfriend, had a VIP badge. So I mean,
Yeah.
they're all over the place.
JD and Teddy had VIP badges, so yeah.
They're probably going to be like guests this year, though. They're probably going to be like legitimate
They're
people.
probably gonna have a
because-
panel.
Yeah.
Right, they're a part of their own thing, which is going to be interesting. Are they going to have their own PAs?
Oh my
It's
God.
gonna be interesting.
Funhouse
It's gonna
guys
be-
need PAs too.
There's going to be so many more PAs because there's going to be so many more PAs this year.
whenever they get more guests, that list will always get longer. So
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Does
always
anybody-
going to need more.
Does anybody watch the Game Kids like channel?
I do.
I watched that.
I plan on to start watching it with my little sister soon. Actually.
I do watch it. I like, because I already like Minecraft, so I will watch majority of the Minecraft stuff, which is like Caleb and his brother, and then like the whole like Minecraft, not Minecraft, but and also like the Sim sisters with Millie and her babysitter. I think it's really funny. I think it's really cute, and it's not like all the comments are moderated too, so it's a great refreshing like channel I can watch. Doesn't have like serious like, oh my God, these people suck. Why did this person win? Why did this person lose? I like
Mary would like to say that Dude Soup think they're getting one, but she asked first.
it. Wait.
And she's pretty, so.
That's true.
And because Mary's prettier, I think that does give her the edge. So.
Does that mean we're going to give Mary a PA at this point? Should we give Mary a PA?
No,
Aren't we all her PAs though?
Mary's PAs are the leads, more or less.
Yeah.
No, there's a ton of people that were staff that didn't think they would need PAs. Like Blaine didn't think he would need a PA. Gilby didn't think he would need a PA. Even Aaron didn't think, and Katie, my God, Katie didn't think she needed a PA, and they ended up getting swamped and trapped in the exhibitor hall or in the halls, and it's just like,
yeah,
no, you need to get out now.
Yeah, we started having like a code thing, like it's code red, X person's on the floor, and all of the spare exhibitor guardians, the guardians who like hung out in there were sort of like freelancer guardians, like booked it onto the floor and like, okay, we're your PAs right now. She needs to go to this place, or she's okay with doing this. Like all of us were just like ready and waiting to like be a PA essentially. Like
Yeah.
I did security for Gavin and Dan without actually being security. Mind you, I'm 5'2", so I'm not very intimidating. Yeah, whatever.
It's not really about being intimidating so much as it is about just having the shirt.
Right. And people backed off. It worked. Thankfully, I'm from Philly and I know how to make my voice loud. So, I mean, it worked. But
To be fair, that being a guardian's like basically just it's always an experiment because there's always something new. There's always some new thing we're trying out. And
definitely.
I mean, if you're a line guardian, 10 to 1 at some point, you're going to temporarily be like a bit of a panel guardian. You're temporarily going to be a bit of a security guardian, maybe, if they
Right.
need somebody right there at that spot, and you're not, your line isn't working right
Oh
then.
yeah, Red and James both became security/line guardians for me when Bernie was stuck outside for 3 hours on Friday after the fire drill. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
God, I feel so bad for the staff that got stuck outside.
I know a lot of line people became like, because I had left Ryan, because Ryan was done for the day. He was like 4 hours early, like done for the day, and he's like, "Oh, just go hang out with your friends, do whatever." I was like, "Are you sure, Ryan?" And he's such a nice guy. He's like, "No, it's okay. Go ahead, hang out with your friends. I know you know, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Didn't realize that literally 30 minutes, like I'm in my loft, just like hanging out with people and like eating or whatever. And like then I see all the tweeters, whatever, Twitter people
The
tweeting
tweeters.
about like the fire alarm, and I texted him. I was like, "Do you need me to come back? Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, just a bunch of guardians already got it. You're fine." And I was like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I know like a bunch of people covered him. And I was like, "Yes, thank you."
that whole event was stressful on everybody. And I saw a couple of comments, I think, in the subreddit when some of the RTX threads started coming in, where people were like, "Oh yeah, the fire drill is the perfect time to go meet staff." It's like, that's literally the worst time to go
Literally.
meet everybody else.
You're blocking traffic. You're blocking people who actually need to get in there.
yeah. My big thing was like, again with like the government background, like when you hear an alarm go off, the first thing you do is just get the F out of the building. If you have a car outside, just get off the property. Do whatever you want to do, just get out. And so when I told Bernie, like Bernie was like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "It means get out." I literally started leading him there, and he's like, "Come on, guys." I'm like, "No, see, I'm responsible for you. I'm not responsible for everybody else in this little circle." But like, I try to keep my cool, and I was just like, "Okay, we're apparently taking 20 fans with us down the emergency exit. All right." And then the 20 fans became like a bazillion, and I'm just like, God damn it.
God help.
We definitely blocked a lot of traffic, and I mean that was just my main concern. It's like I would like it that whoever's in charge of that man this year is just to tweet, "This is where Bernie's going to be standing, and come now." In between now and here and then, no, just go to that spot and we'll meet you there. It's like, I don't know. And probably not. Bernie's gonna do what he wants to do. Like that's the end point, is that Bernie's gonna do what he wants to do. If he's gonna stop, it's just exactly like how that animated adventure was. It's like, it's like, we gotta get you to your thing, and he's like, no, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. And you're like, ugh. That's exactly what you just gotta let him do his thing. Just let him do it. He knows what he's doing.
Nice. All right.
Smile and nod.
So we have about 5-7 minutes left. So we'll go through quickly for the last comments and questions, and then we'll go through the last couple minutes to briefly go over the Chuck story, like a minute at most to explain it. And that's
How
it.
about instead
That's
we
it.
just talk about like the stuff that we had to deal with?
I
because
actually had a
not-
question for all of us.
What's
If I
up?
could
Oh,
ask
good.
What's
it.
up? What's up?
Do we want to go through these and then I can ask it?
Yeah, you can ask her right now. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what's like the most important, I guess, guardian moment you guys have had since we've all been guardians, right?
I
Yeah.
haven't been a guardian.
This is his first one.
Well, what you can answer. What are you looking forward to doing, or what do you think you're gonna be doing? But for all the guardians that have, like, has there been any special moment that, like, I'm a guardian, this is what being a guardian's about, because I know I absolutely had one.
Okay, how about you start? And we'll go the same order like we did for our intros.
So that means you're going last, then?
Yeah, I'll go last, because then we have to wrap up.
Okay, exhibitor guardian story. So I was running, it was the day before the actual convention. It was that Thursday. We were running back and forth. I was helping out with 343, I believe, in their booth, and I had to run to the FedEx. And I got to the FedEx, and I'm like, okay, do you still need me? Because it was with somebody else. I was like, no, you can go. And I was like, good. Because I turned around and heard people like, how are we going to get our stuff there? How are we going to get anything to the convention? We have like 200 boxes. We're freaking out. And I was like, hey, do you guys need help? And they're like, excuse me? And I was like, so I am actually a guardian. My job is exhibitor guardian specifically. Are you guys having a problem and do you need help? And they're like, yes. And I was like, okay, let me get people. We can get people to carry your boxes to the expo center, and we can go from there. I got like an entire crew of people there and back, and like when like we also helped set up their booth. By the time everything was done, they were like in tears. They were like, oh my god, thank you so much. We don't know how we would have done this. Like we're freaking out. And I was just like I actually saw them at another convention. I saw them at New York Comic Con when I was staffing it, and they remembered me and they were like, thank you so much again for at RTX. And it was just like, this is what being a guardian's about, just helping people and making sure a convention runs amazingly. And that was kind of my was my thing.
Oh, I love it.
But did anybody else have a moment like that? Any moment where it was like, this is what being a guardian's about?
I have one. I mean, obviously, like I have like a bunch of like awesome stories, at least by being Bernie's PA, just because that man causes a lot of fun things, well, fun times. But one thing that I remember in particular was, with how we were trying to be the #1 for the Indiegogo most funded movie. And I actually wrote down the total on my wrist of how much that abortion film that was the #1 most funded film was. And I kept refreshing my phone to keep checking it. And Bernie literally had to stop to take a lunch break. And he had JD back by where we were doing like the pre-bagging stuff. And Joel was back there. I believe Matt was back there. And I went to take a pee break. And like when I was all done and everything, I checked my phone again, and we were like just a couple $100 over the previous movie. I think I broke the door. I kicked it down. I was so excited, and I was like, Bernie! Bernie! And he's like, what? Jesus Christ. And I was like, we did it! And he just immediately started crying. It was actually kind of precious.
Aww.
He was so happy. He gave like JD like a big hug, and he was just like, you could tell he was a little emotional. And like Matt was looking at it on the phone, and he was all excited, and Joel was giving him a pat on the back. And it was just kind of like, like that one of those moments you don't really see like on screen, but because I was back there like watching them from behind the scenes, it was kind of like a special moment for me. I was like, oh, these boys, they're so cute. They're all like, so happy for this. I don't know. It was just me. Sorry.
That was a good moment.
It was a pretty cool moment.
Anybody else?
I think Chazzy pieced out, so whoever wants to shout out next.
I'm just really looking forward
it
to
should be
being a
Nick.
guardian. I said I'm just really looking forward to being a guardian and being fun.
I guess I'm next on the list. The ones that are probably the thing about being a line guardian is that you get to meet people, and mostly it's while you're telling people to, just reminding them, don't stand in front of the bathrooms. People need to go pee, or don't stand here. They need to be able to not pass out from heat exhaustion. But you'll get the moment where the first year I was a line guardian, we were prepping for the Ruby panel, and Kara walks up with these two adults and older people, and she just said, hey, so these are my parents, and can they sit in the Ruby area for a sec, because they want to come to the panel. And that's how you met Kara's parents. They were just wandering into a panel. The other one was last year, when we were desperately trying to cram as many people into the Ruby panel as we could without going over the fire code. There's that moment where you're letting people in like just little bursts, because we're trying to find like empty seats and get everybody to sit down, and people are anxiously waiting, hoping that they're going to make it in. And then you get to tell like the squad of 10 people all in cosplay who clearly are incredibly excited to be here and desperately want that they do get to go in. And they're just so happy that they start hugging you, and like they're breaking into tears. because
Oh.
it's like their first RTX. They were all in cosplay. They really wanted to go see it, and you get to tell them yes, and that's the best moment. It sucks when you have to say no, but when you get to say yes, that's the best thing that you can do.
Agreed.
Nice.
Definitely.
Chris.
For me, it's probably got to be. I mean, they're really small things, but for some reason it just floors me a little bit. There were a couple different times where I was Jordan's PA last year. He was kind of the best and the worst person to PA for because he already knew all of like the back ways and how to get everywhere, so I didn't really have to do a whole lot of anything for that. And so like he always had like water and everything. He was always prepared, so I always had extra stuff in my bag. And we had a Red Bull shortage, I think, on Saturday or whatever, but there was no Red Bull anywhere to be found, and everybody.
I had to go run in the hot sun for those Red Bulls.
So, I think it was the Ruby panel, maybe. Maggie was sitting in the front row, and I just, like, going down asking other staff members if they wanted anything. She's like, oh, I want a Red Bull, and I was like, I don't know if we have any. She's like, oh, that's fine. So I ran, grabbed two, and brought one back to her, and she was like, oh, you didn't have to do that. That was so nice of you. Blah blah blah. I was like, whatever. It's, it's being a guardian is what I do. But she just couldn't believe that I would go out of my way to do that. And then later on, after Tina had showed up, I had that extra Red Bull, and I was like, "Do you want a Red Bull?" And she's like, "Oh my God, yes, thank you." So she was super excited about that too. It was kind of nice to be like, "Hey, yeah, I'm here to help," as the shirt says.
There you go.
All right, Doobie.
The most amazing moment for me, honestly, would be walking outside after Sunday night and crying because there's this group of 50, 60 people, and just like cheering for all these Guardians that put in 30 hours, 40 hours in 3 days for some people. It's just like, that was mind-blowing to me.
That was a good moment.
It was completely unexpected. Like Sam was saying, I had to almost like look behind me to like, is there who followed me out?
Who are they cheering for? Oh.
Oh.
Andrew, you were kind of like a ringleader for them a little bit.
Yeah.
I recall.
Yeah.
That wasn't planned at all. That was literally, oh crap, if I don't do something, the security guards are going to call the cops. But hey, they actually listened, which was amazing.
That's the other thing is that, you end up just, hey, let's just change this little thing here so that we don't get all in trouble. That happens to me quite a bit.
Nice. All right, so I guess my most important excited moment was like when me and Ryan were in the outside going up to the elevator. He's just like he was so new to the idea of being like a YouTube personality or just being really important to these just random people like around the world. And he's like, he didn't really get it, and I had to like explain to him like, you don't understand, like you're not just like somebody on YouTube, you're not just some like some personality that like people watch every day. Like you're an inspiration. You're like something that makes people like laugh every day. You're a person who makes them want to like do like go another day in their life. Like you just make that kind of impression on people, and you save a lot of people's lives. And like he just kind of, I guess it just clicked into his head. And I was like, you saved a lot of people's lives. Like, Michael saved my life at one point when I was in high school, because high school sucks. Everybody sucks in high school, so high school sucks.
100% agree. After just having come out of high school, it is the worst.
It's the worst. So that's why like I had to get Rage Quit tattooed that year, because like I want to remember that these people, made every day worth living. And then it clicked into his head that like he's more than just what he thinks he is. And it was just that moment really like made me like love Ryan, because like he's such a cool normal dad, and like he actually took actually a moment to sit down to a girl who like she went up to one of the signing booths, and she was just like, I think she was like maybe 13 or 14, and I think she was just having a really hard time with stuff, and he sat down with her for like an hour and just talked to her, because he like now realized that he's more than just Ryan Haywood. So, that was a good moment. That was such a great moment.
Aww.
God, I'm about to get emotional because like these people are really important, and I'm glad they introduced me to more people like you guys.
Yeah.
Heart eyes emojis.
All right, so we have to wrap up because we're about to get the tears flowing. But I want to thank you guys for coming on. I want to thank everybody. Hopefully, I get to see you guys very, very soon. Hopefully, we get to share whatever departments we get into very, very soon. And I want to let the viewers know that next week we'll be having Red hosting, and that'll be next week Sunday, exactly the same time. So that'll be 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm not sure about Pacific, but it doesn't matter. They're over there.
2 hours behind Central.
Get shit on Pacific.
So everybody should have gotten already their email for March for their scheduling. If you have not, please email me at rtxguardianpodcast@gmail.com. For April, though, I am scheduling this week for April, so that should happen very, very shortly. If you would like to be on the Guardian podcast and the future podcast, please email me at the same rtxguardianpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to follow us at Guardian Podcast, it's right there on my banner, and then that's my personal next to it. So yeah, so if you guys want to say bye, we're about to sign off.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.